Welcome into this edition of the Oxford Exxon Podcast, Wednesday afternoon, MLB playoff edition. The Braves and the Reds are in the seventh inning. The Cubs and the Marlins are underway as well, so they'll probably be a little distracted, but we'll get to a podcast here.
I'll be a lot distracted.
Okay.
And I warned people yesterday.
That's true.
And so I don't feel bad about it. Braves and Reds going to the eighth inning. Max Fried and Trevor Bauer have been phenomenal. Hopefully Kyle Hendricks can follow suit. He's 1/9 of the way there. The Cubs hitting in the bottom of the first, no score at Wrigley.
Yeah, so that's what's up. We will talk about that. We'll talk about Lane Kiffin spoke to the media a little while ago. Frankly, not really any news from that whatsoever. But
I'll go ahead and get it out of the way.
We don't know about Otis Reese.
I asked the question before I could even
you
finish
apologized.
it. He answered, yes, I did. I forgot to turn the lights on. I'm going to put put the scene just on you for a moment.
Okay.
And I'll turn the lights on.
Okay. It's really not like terribly dark though. I'll be honest. Like I feel like it's better than it used to be for whatever reason. Maybe it's time of day. I don't know. Maybe the sun's out. I don't know what it is, but it's not. It's not awful at the moment. It's okay. That is better though. That's a lot better. So anyway.
Yes, lighting is usually better for
better.
broadcasting.
Yeah. So you apologized, you're saying?
Yeah, I apologize for asking yet again about Otis Reese. There is no word. I asked him if he had asked why there was no word, and he said he had, and that no one really had that answer.
Nobody knows why.
So that is what it is.
I will never understand the cloak and dagger of this kind of stuff, where there's no schedule, no one understands. It's just somehow, amazingly, 1 minute, 1 day, poof. There it is, all good.
Well, and fans, and anger's not the right word. Fans get frustrated with us in the media, like, why don't you know? And it's, well, they don't know. I mean, I couldn't know if they don't know.
Lane has better sources on that than we do, and if he has no idea, then we have no idea. That is the answer. He would love to play Otis Reese.
Today was one of the first times I sensed a little frustration about it. Like he's getting a little pissy.
Other people have heard. I mean, at some point, it becomes. Why am I last in queue? Why is my guy last in queue? I mean, because you're really not even in week 2. You're in week 5.
Yeah.
Everybody else has been playing for a little while, or at least some people have. I mean, the normal schedule is what it is, and because some people did get cleared and whatnot. I mean, the SEC and the NCAA, I don't know who all was furloughed, but the entire clearinghouse stuff was not for both those things. They were still doing stuff and doing whatever there was they were doing. So anyway, before we get too far down the road, I'll tell you the podcast is brought to you every single day by the Oxford Exxon, Highway 6 West in Oxford. Speed Pass Plus app. Use it. You can pay right there on your app. It is a quick and efficient way to get back on the road. You can use that at all Blue Sky locations throughout Mississippi. Also, you can get a lunch special, $5.69 for those now. 2 sides of bread, 32-ounce drink there at the Oxford Exxon.
We're coming to you from the Clark Ford Studios. Clark Ford's in Amory, Mississippi, 662-257-1900. Call that number. Ask for Corey Clark. Tell Corey what Ford product you're looking for. He'll send you a quote within 15 minutes in business hours. Right to the bottom line. No hassle, no haggle. You get your quote. The rest is completely up to you. Again, 662-257-1900. Guest will join us this weekend on the Rafters Music and Food Hotline. Rafters on the Square is open. If you want to go tonight, watch NBA Finals Game 1. You can watch a lot of Major League Baseball playoffs, and then into the weekend we start to go, the NFL, and we get to college football, of course, and then Ole Miss and Kentucky, 3 p.m. Central Time, 4 p.m. Eastern, but 3 p.m. here in Oxford. It's games in Lexington. You're probably not going, so you need a place to watch. And you could watch along with us, maybe at Rafters. I'll wait and see if I can't get Hudson to put one of the screens there on our happy faces.
Oh, yeah.
And we'll do that. But you can watch the games there, have some drink specials, great food that we sampled last week on our watch party show. So you can do all of those things at Rafters. Rafters on the Water is open as well, and Rafters in New Albany.
So
real quick, happy birthday to my mother, Judy McCready. Yeah. It's her birthday today. She turns 39 again. So congratulations to her. I don't know. I think you get to a certain point where you're like, no, I'd want the number.
Because you made it.
Means
whatever number that is. I mean, it's up to everybody to be whatever that number is.
Yeah.
But what's that number for you? When do they start mattering again? Just from a hey, I'm still breathing.
I don't know. I guess I'm there now. I'm 50. It feels old.
30, 40, or 50 feel like more of a milestone.
Milestone?
Well, I mean, did any of them pop you a little more that, wow, I'm this age?
50 sucked.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they're getting worse as it goes?
Yeah, I mean,
from that standpoint?
I don't think 51 will be bad.
Or
no.
52, I mean,
but 60 will be like, oh, shit. And then I guess I could get to 75 and run for president. Oh, he just missed that one.
I did. I mean, we're not doing this. I did listen to the Clinton Dole thing this morning in the car, so it was better than I anticipated it being. It was fine.
I finished it today walking the dogs. It was fine.
It was okay.
There wasn't much you could do with that.
They tried to do the Newt Gingrich thing for a little while, and I mean, it's fine.
That was the one you could play with a little bit because there was just no drama. Bob Dole was never beating Bill Clinton, so he had to make an hour out of an election that had no drama. I didn't even realize that Dole got 150 something electoral college.
You didn't know it was that many.
If you'd have made me guess, I'd have been like, I don't know, 30. I don't remember. I never remember even thinking that Dole was in it.
That's funny. What is it? It's the first time I think that we will. It's absolutely the first time we've been doing a podcast during a Cubs playoff game. It's a 16-team field. You weren't necessarily expecting a ton this season anyway. It's a bit of a crapshoot because this first round of 3 thing at one park, 2 out of 3. Doesn't that lessen your whatever? I mean, isn't it a little bit of, hey, if you just kind of hang around for a little bit, then we'll get into it, or are you pretty much into it from the first pitch?
I don't know.
Where are we at?
I've said this before to people when people like, how big of a Cub fan are you? My answer is always to the point that I don't have the emotional capacity for anything else. You've been around me a while. You know that to be the truth.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I liked the Thunder, and I still like the Thunder, and the Thunder were fun for a while. But if there's a Cubs playoff game on the same time that a Thunder playoff game is on, I'm watching the Cubs. 100 times out of 100. So I'm pretty into it today. I'll be a nervous wreck, but if they don't win, they don't win. I mean, the only thing about the Cubs this year is that you sense that if they don't do something, and maybe even if they do, this is the end for this group as comprised. And this was the group that won it, so there will always be a sentimentality to this group. As I suspect it was for the Braves when they started to tear it up with Glavine and Smoltz and all those guys. That was the group that won one.
Top 8 now between the Reds and the
Fried is out of the game.
Where's Bauer's pitch count?
It doesn't matter. Dude's got a rubber arm, and he is on fire today. His stuff is amazing.
So, again, Lane spoke. That was all we had today. Nothing on Otis Reese. He said that kids like the uniforms.
Kids like the uniforms. Kids like some of the stuff, yeah. He seemed pretty upbeat on that answer.
Yeah, that's fine.
He
has to speak in such generalities that it's hard for him to frankly answer it a little bit.
Yeah, I expect them to get some recruiting news tonight, by the way. Kid out of Virginia.
Yeah.
Really strongly suspected.
I have a hunch.
Like having some sort of a specific time.
Yeah. Might even mention some photos or something. I don't know. We'll see.
May
We'll
even have some social media ready. I don't know. I anticipate that happening. So they've had a good, they've had a good response to it. Look, it's going to be one of those things that we'll talk about a lot during recruiting cycles when it's all over. Whenever this is all over, they've not been able to bring anybody to campus. They've not been able to go see anyone. It's totally different recruiting world. So the game mattered. They had to put a show on in the game. And for a team that lost, I thought they did a pretty good job.
Mentioned kids like the little money bag thing, all the little gimmicks that they had going on.
Not Virginia, Philadelphia. I'm sorry.
Same thing.
Yeah.
Somebody knew who we were talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah, Lane was upbeat's probably a good word. I mean,
yeah,
whatever.
He's fine.
Yeah, it was a good loss on Saturday. That's what it was. That's an easy way to categorize that. And look, this Saturday is not a must-win, guys. There is no must-win.
Not this year. This is year 0.
Just keep chopping the wood, as some coaches would say.
Yeah.
Row the boat. I mean, just keep it going. I mean, frankly, it's getting to the point where it's not even worth mentioning until something does go wrong. 3rd week in a row, no COVID positives for Lane. He admitted he did not wear his mask very well on Saturday.
He admitted that it was hot.
He did not get a Mike Leach type quote there, but he did.
It's hot and it's uncomfortable, and he's like, I guess I should try to do better.
I know you're stunned that Leach got taken out of context with that, or they did not use the entire quote as he was.
I was just pleased that Mike DeCourcy, of all people.
I don't know him.
Well, you didn't miss much.
Okay.
Took him to task.
Has he always been in sporting news?
Yeah.
Okay.
Took him to task for
y'all aren't buddies?
No. For not taking it more seriously. Everyone on the sideline's negative. It's all okay. The people in Boston College won a game and had a brief little celebration in their locker room, and some of the Corona guys got all worked up about that.
Yeah, I saw that somebody got worked up. I didn't see the actual worked up there. Who got on there?
I can't even remember who it was. And then there was one of the city council people or something in Boston got upset about it. Just
oh, really?
Yeah, that story is just it's okay. Please give me the list of 21-year-olds that are getting deadly sick from the virus. Get him, Javi. Not a baby.
You almost need to watch the Braves game for a minute, not just
kind
of stay locked in a little bit.
Yeah, I'm flipping a little bit. Yeah.
Although Bauer pitching is not going to help you either, so I don't know. We've got 1 out of 4 half innings.
Well, the thing about the Reds is I want to hate them, but they have several of my favorite players on their team. And so it's difficult. And I know that the Cubs, if they happen to beat the Marlins, will play the winner of the series. And so I'd like for every game in the series to go about 30 innings, just in case. You know what I mean? I'd like for pitching staffs to be so depleted by the time next week rolled around.
Yeah, look, Leach got popped a little. Lane has given very pragmatic, honest answers the whole time on it. He mentioned in the thread, he said on Monday, yeah, we're going to do everything. We're going to take some more buses, but then we're going to sit on the plane right next to one another. He's
a little bit. He's
fair, frustrated
though,
by dumb rules. He's not. It's not even like hey, the virus is a hoax or anything. It's just hey, what we're doing doesn't make a lot of sense. That's what he's doing.
Well, and he's essentially saying, look, I'll do it. There's a lot of my answer in this, honestly. This is what I've said. People are like, oh, you're a hoax guy. I'm like, I'm not. It's not a hoax. And I wear my mask. I've got a collection of masks, and I wear the damn things. I do question how effective they are, and that's okay. I'm allowed to question that. But I'm not the Karen going into the Home Depot screaming at the person saying I won't wear my mask. No, I put my mask on, and I do it. If it makes other people feel good, that's fine. It's fine. But it is in that situation, and tell me if you think I'm wrong, I do feel like that entitles me a little bit, the fact that I am obeying the rules, to ask, but why is this the rule?
Yeah, I think everybody's able to do that.
That's really it. But so why is this the rule? Why is it necessary for Mike Leach, when he's 10 feet away from anyone on a sideline, to have his mask over his face? Mike Leach is negative. He was tested the day before.
Coaches do 3 days a week.
Yeah, everybody.
Who was recently positive? Blake Anderson.
Yeah.
Arkansas State.
Arkansas State.
That's right. I was having a hard time coming up with who it was. Yeah. So anyway, that was pretty much it, frankly. There was not a whole lot to it. Yeah, no idea when Otis Reese. They'll play Kentucky at 3 o'clock on Saturday, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah. It's funny how we get to
this is the hay in the barn portion of the week, or right now, Wednesday at
afternoon. If people say, why do y'all do picks on Thursday? It's because the first 3 days we've covered football. And then we get to Thursday, it's like, okay,
sometimes we have a game on Thursday night.
Let's have some fun. Yeah. That's kind of what we do.
Did you have a good caption week?
It was okay.
Didn't have a great caption week?
Nothing great. I didn't have a lot of great photos. I went searching, but there wasn't a lot of good stuff.
Okay, what is your search process on that? Do we start with just team name, or do you already have a victim lined up from a player, coach, or what?
I go in with some ideas, and then I search. Sometimes I adjust because I'll search the team, and I'll see something good, and I'm like, oh, that's what I'm looking for.
We have to use that, so now I'll figure out what it is.
I'll change, but it's still early in the season. We don't have a lot of SEC storylines yet.
And we have fewer games because they all play each other. We're not getting the non-con stuff where you got the 12, 13 SEC games in a week.
Yeah, there's 7 games. And we'll have some weeks where there's not 7 because teams will get that open date.
So when is Steelers and Titans postponed to? I see it's postponed.
Monday or Tuesday is my understanding. Okay.
So try to stay still on.
Yeah, they're going to. I think
on a weekly schedule.
I think they're pretty confident they're going to be able to play.
Okay.
Because there was concern around the NFL that the Vikings would get hit hard by it, but as of now, they don't have any positives, and so there's a sense that they dodged that bullet.
Yeah.
Where you had two teams in trouble.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. I get it.
Don't walk him, Kyle.
It's the second inning, by the way.
I know.
0-0.
Cubs don't score runs, so giving up runs is a disaster. I mean, we might have to win this like 1-0, 2-1. I mean, we're not going to give up.
So seriously, like it went to 3-0, you would feel like the game's over.
Yeah. I'd probably like flip off of it, just kind of keep up from a distance.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, Cubs don't score. The Cubs will have games where they go 0-0-1, and then they'll go 12-11, 0-0-1-1, 12-1-0, 15-0-0-0. The damnedest thing. You're like, why can't you just figure out how to get 6 a day?
And yet they won the division.
They did. They got off to that super hot start and won the
And
division.
in a 60-game season, you can kind of coast a little off that.
Yeah.
It'll keep you around for a little bit. Yeah.
Will the players with COVID still be out? Yeah, I would certainly think so. The story that I read today, and I read a little bit, is that there's a sense among the league that the Titans and the Vikings are going to have to play a game shorthanded this week. And it just is what it is because the NFL really wants to stay on schedule. And that this is that year where, hey,
sorry,
tough.
Yeah.
You know, you got a taxi squad for a reason, bud. Use it.
Everybody will just chill.
Just play the game.
We've had this conversation, though, and I think more coaches are going to be fired than you think when the season's over.
College or pro?
And look, the NFL's not going to go 0 for 32 on fired coaches.
Oh, no. The NFL, I expect, will be business as usual from a firing standpoint. Although they're losing a lot of money. I was reading about the Cubs today. The Cubs were saying they're, as of right now, planning for next season to at least be partially attendance or no attendance. They don't know, which is mind-boggling to me. Truly.
It's a long way to March.
It is a long way. So anyway, it's kind of that today for Kiffin, and we don't get players on Wednesday. We just get Lane, and we had 8 minutes with him.
It's fine.
Yeah, it was fine. It's not you learn in these deals that you don't want to wear them out with 20-minute press conferences in the middle of the week. We're getting better. Some of the people on our beat have begun to understand that there are questions that he won't answer, so you have to ask.
I didn't hear
some
any of
different
those
questions.
today, did I?
No, not one. Nope.
Today was a good.
We're improving. We're learning.
There was a couple follow-ups to one where he was not going to give anything enlightening.
But he wasn't
fine.
bothered by the question.
No, he was cool.
Yeah,
Whatever.
it was fine.
It's fine.
He was like, I'm not going to answer that, but
sounds good.
okay,
Yeah,
sure.
Yeah.
He humored him a little bit,
Yeah.
which was his way of saying it's a good question, but I'm not answering it.
No one asked him about his shirt. He did not offer an apology about his shirt. Nothing about his shirt came up. You were not deeply offended?
Well, no, number one, I'm never offended, but no. Look,
So somewhere.
this is your brand.
Somewhere.
Yeah, I know. This is your brand.
When you hired Lane Kiffin.
You hired Lane
get.
Kiffin. You hired the brand. You knew you were hiring the brand. You knew you were getting the brand. You wanted the brand. That's part of the brand. Roll with it. Embrace it. Hug it tight.
Can't buyer's remorse now.
Why would you? It's working.
Got more pub out of that than if he just had a red polo on.
It's working. Ole Miss was 4-8 a year ago, and they were in one of the opening blocks on ESPN Game Day Saturday morning.
They were.
Ole Miss was really, listen, no offense to anybody, and I hope nobody out there is deeply offended by what I'm about to say, even though it's completely factual. Ole Miss was one of the most boring teams in the country a year ago. So everybody, I mean, the biggest storyline with Ole Miss football before the moment where Elijah Moore lifts his leg was, hey, did you know John Rice Plumlee can play the piano? Did you know that Jerry and Ely also plays baseball? When those are your storylines, it's trouble.
Because they didn't suck so bad that you're like, oh my God, at that car crash. Just
No.
nondescript.
Right.
Just mediocre, just nondescript right there. So we have more coming up. We'll get to some other topics in a second. First, tell you about Visit Oxford. Visit oxfordms.com. Go to the events page, see what's going on in town. It's been a pretty light week, but not next week. You got the Queen's Cartoonist at the Ford Center, 7:39 o'clock on October 6th. Tunes Around Town, October 9th from 5 to 7. And then Ole Miss in Alabama, 5 p.m. kick for that one. Not 8. 8 would be bad. On October 10th, next Saturday. 5 o'clock, the double-decker bus will be in front of Visit Oxford from 3 to 4 on Friday. Also around Vaught Hemingway Stadium on Saturday morning as well for pictures and whatnot. So again, they are our partner for our Oxford Eats thing. We're gonna have food every single game day. Again, thanks to Raptors. Thanks to Visit Oxford for that. And again, find out more. Visit oxfordms.com/events.
Rebel Rewards, the official rewards app of Rebel fans, brings all new experiences this season, including game day selfies, weekly trivia, and stadium light shows from your home. Download the free app today by searching Rebel Rewards. Rebel Rewards, be rewarded. Are you ready for some spring football? The Oxford Park Commission will have a youth flag football season at M-Trade Park this fall. Registration has started and will continue through October the 4th. Leagues are available for ages 6 to 12 at a cost of $40 per child. There are discounts available for multiple players from the same family as well. So visit oxfordparkcommission.com for more details on signing up. We're also brought to you by Jupiter Security Systems. They're based in Madison, Mississippi, and they do a remarkable job of providing your business with a help desk, allowing you to get software at a much cheaper price than you would pay going directly to Microsoft on or their different cybersecurity services. What it is cybersecurity and marketing. It's ADT, monitoring, I should say. It's ADT for your computer systems and data, and it's very affordable with a flat price, no hidden add-ons. Get in touch with Eric at 601-519-9583 or email info at jupitersecurity.net or visit jupitersecurity.net. College Corner sponsors Neal's Picks, which will be up tomorrow. It's your one-stop Rebel Shop, 2 locations in the Jackson area. In Ridgeland, the College Corner is next to Fleet Feet, and in Flowood, it's next to Half Shell. So if you don't live in Jackson, it's not a problem. You can visit the College Corner at collegecornerstore.com. Plus, you can find them on Facebook and Instagram through the month of October. Mention Rebel Grove at checkout and get 15% off your entire purchase. You can also use it online. Just put Rebel Grove in the coupon tab at checkout. And we are also brought to you by the Iron Horse Grill, located at 320 East Pearl Street in Jackson. The Iron Horse Grill, with live music 4 times per week, is a perfect place to enjoy lunch, dinner, or Sunday brunch. That's the Iron Horse Grill.
I see you have debate reaction up on the subject line here.
Well, I figured we would probably go there for a minute, so I put it up. I had people asking me to do a post-debate call-in show, and I thought about it, but I just thought, what in the world was there left to say? And I almost just kind of wanted to watch some of the network reaction, because that was, whoa.
Look, plenty of jokes, plenty of things. I'll be honest, I got a little depressed.
I did too.
I mean,
after I laughed at it for a while, and then I was like,
because
oh my
look,
God.
I thought, I don't know why I was being optimistic. I thought it would get better.
After the first 6 minutes.
Yeah, like I turned it on and I'm watching. I'm like, okay, well and look, I saw a lot of criticism. There wasn't anything the moderator could have done. There's nothing you can do.
He raised his voice at
the
president of the United States and the former vice president of the United States, who's almost certainly going to be the next president.
He yelled at them to shut up. There's nothing he can have done.
I compared it to a prize fight where both fighters came out in the opening round and just beat the hell out of each other. And neither one could knock the other one out. And the next 14 rounds, they just rabbit punched one another and kidney punched one another and hugged and violated every boxing rule in the world.
Just rabbit punch after rabbit punch after rabbit punch.
And every once in a while, they'd have a flurry of punches. And then they were so exhausted. And then I went down the conspiracy rabbit hole because I'm following along on Twitter, and people are showing pictures of the little thing on Biden's wrist. Did you see that? And so you're like, what is that? And then there's the wire, and you're just like, is he wired? And when he wished himself good luck, I think he was repeating something that was said in his ear. And then Trump's crazy. Trump won't stop. And so by the end of it, I tweeted this, and it was the best tweet I had the whole night. One of these two people is going to be president for at least a day on January the 20th, and that should depress us all.
Robert says mute the other mic when one gets 2 minutes. Yeah, I mean, would have been a theory. Would have been a method.
I guess.
Although they wouldn't have shut up.
Well, what happens in 2 weeks when they do a town hall? Are they going to hit each other? They both lost their temper last night. Both of them. Because they have different things they do when they lose their temper, but they absolutely both lost their cool early.
Did it injure either one of them politically more? I thought it hurt Trump more last night.
Yeah, it hurt Trump. Because Biden, the bar is set so low on Biden that, he survived it. Great job. Yeah, I mean, the whole thing's pathetic. I didn't watch it and come away going, gosh, man, one of these guys.
It was unlike any debate I've ever seen. And
no decorum at all.
No, none. That's the thing.
None. Zero. Like you were talking about Bob Dole.
Yeah.
The Dole-Clinton debates, I remember them, were actually kind of interesting. You know, Bob Dole, for whatever you thought of him, was a bit of an American hero. And Bill Clinton was the sitting president of the United States, and he treated Bob Dole with a degree of respect. Even the Bush-Gore debates, where I think they hated one another. Other than the one time that Gore...
They hated one another?
Yeah, I think they hated one another. Except for the one time when I think Gore came over and tried to kind of invade his physical space. They were fine. They were interesting. I mean, was it Cheney-Lieberman sat down and had a debate that was... Not Cheney. Who was it? Maybe it was Cheney and Lieberman sat down and had a debate that was really fascinating.
Neither side is going to lose their base. I mean, in any election, but especially this election. So, again, get back to yesterday's. I got a point.
Okay.
We're talking about such a finite number of voters here who can be swung no matter how stupid or bad or worse one was than the other. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I think if I'm Biden's camp, it would have, allowed him to measure his words a little better. I think I'm sure they were worried about him looking weak in this scenario, what I was about to picture. Every time Trump started to do that, I would have shut up. I would have stopped talking every time he interrupted me and just stopped. That's what I would have done. And look like the adult in the room and go, you know what? That might be enough to swing 1.5%. Because there is a middle that no matter what their 401k looks like, no matter what, they can't get past Trump's lack of reverence and decorum for the office.
And from a strategic...
You put them together and go, nope, I'm not going to get down your rabbit hole. If you want to call me weak, great, I'm shutting up.
And from a strategic standpoint, the Trump people have said, hey, this guy can't maintain a cognitive thought for 20 seconds.
And Trump wouldn't let him even try.
And last night, you wouldn't even let him give it a shot. So if the strategy was we're going to let this guy turn into a bumbling fool, and no, I'm not calling him a bumbling fool, but if your strategy is we believe that he can't maintain a conversation because he doesn't know what the hell he's talking about, because he can't think straight, because he's on drugs or whatever the hell it is that you think, give him an opportunity to prove you right. Because at this point, that has to be part of your strategy. If you're Trump, part of your strategy today has to be you have to hope that 3-4% go, look, I don't like Trump, but this guy, ugh, right?
I think it would have picked up 2 percentage points to just be the adult in the room. I do.
Well, there was no adult in that room.
That was my point. But Trump got Biden to go to his level from that standpoint.
Yeah.
Yeah, completely. I mean, I don't know, and I mean, I doubt. I mean, maybe way down the road. I mean, Hogan's not going to tell us all the strategy, but I can't believe that was strategy last night because it goes against every common sense thought on how to expose Biden in a debate. He's yelling at the moderator. He starts arguing and debating the moderator at one point.
There is a moment somewhere after January the 21st where I look forward to sitting down with Hogan and going, all right, what happened?
Here's my phone.
Yeah,
I'm good.
Yeah. Oh, we're all good. I'm not going to mess up your book. But what happened?
Yeah.
Because not all of the people that are around him are idiots. I mean, people are trying to tell him, but I think his style has become bullying, and I don't think there's any way around it now.
And that'll appeal to a very small to his base. It will.
It will.
It does.
Yeah, but the base isn't big enough to win a general election. You've got to get neither base is big enough to win the general election. You've got to be able to get into the middle.
We'll see. I'll be curious to see how strategies change in the following two debates. When now they both know exactly what this is going to look like.
Yeah, I heard people today say, I won't watch another one. I'm like, are you kidding? I'd watch another one tonight.
It started affecting me mentally. Because you couldn't even hear anything. Like, you're just yelling at one another. Like, Colonel upstairs, he goes, Wallace may be the worst moderator of my lifetime. What do you do?
Yeah, I don't know.
There's nothing he could have done.
I don't know what there were a couple of opportunities.
His questions were too long.
There were a couple of opportunities. For example, when they were talking about the white supremacist thing, he should have stopped and said, Mr. President, perhaps we didn't give you an opportunity to condemn this.
Mm-hmm.
That would have been a moment. You're either going to do it or you're not. Because they were going so fast and then the other one was when Biden said Antifa is not not an organization, but it's a thought. He should have stopped at that moment and said, Mr. Vice President, I must have you clarify this. And then very early in the night, when they asked Biden about stacking the court, something that he has long opposed throughout his career in the Senate and as a vice president, he wouldn't give an answer, and he should have pushed. Because Biden's answer was, if we talk about that, we won't talk. Well, that's not what I asked you. I asked you a question, and I'm asking for an answer. That would have been a moment that he could have taken charge. He didn't. Instead, he let them go, and once they went, it was night.
Who are the next moderators?
I don't know. The next one's a town hall, which those are always.
That has a chance to be
even more of a you-know-what show than the last night was. Yeah, and you get the weird people in the crowds that tell a story and, hey, this is Dorothy, and the whole answer is directed at Dorothy, even though they don't even talk about what Dorothy just asked and all that stuff.
All right, we got, let's see, next is actually the vice president debate. That is October 7th at the University of Utah in Salt Lake.
Okay. And typically they sit down at a table and just have a conversation.
It's a little informal, like whatever. Susan Page of the Washington bureau chief for USA Today is the moderator for that.
Okay.
So one of Dan Wilkins' coworkers is doing that. Town meeting.
You just got to wait for Pence to go, what do you want me to do?
Second presidential debate, the town hall meeting, as you mentioned. Yeah. Steve Scully, senior executive producer and political editor for C-SPAN, is the moderator. That is at the Adrienne Arsh Center for the Performing Arts in Miami, Florida.
That's got a chance, because you watch C-SPAN and you don't get a lot of commentary. C-SPAN sort of like
there is commentary on C-SPAN?
I don't know. I mean, that's where you watch.
I mean, I remember it from like just Senate hearings. You're just yay, nay, and they got the little thing up on the corner of the screen. And they tell you, and we move on to the next thing. Who's picking their channel? Well, actually now, in today's world, maybe now a lot of people picking C-SPAN. Going, hang on, you won't talk? I can just watch?
Yeah.
Done. Okay. Yeah. Hit the button.
C-SPAN dominating the ratings effective tonight.
No, let's see. Third presidential debate is Kristen Welker. She is a co-anchor for Today, White House correspondent at NBC News. So that is at Belmont University in Nashville, Tennessee for the final debate. So, second, let's see, the vice president debate, it will be divided into 9 segments of 10 minutes each. The moderator will make us an opening question, after which each candidate will have 2 minutes to respond, so very similar to the last one. And then the second presidential debate is a town meeting in which the questions will be posed by citizens from the South Florida area. They will have 2 minutes to respond to each question. There will be an additional minute for the moderator to facilitate further discussion. The town meeting participants will be uncommitted voters selected under the supervision of Dr. Frank Newport, senior scientist with Gallup. So he's got to find undecided in South Florida.
What's his name?
Frank Newport.
Frank's like, there is not enough tequila. I can't do it.
Well, he's almost like making the calls. They're going, yes, I don't know. And you go, hang on, really?
Yeah.
Hang on, whoa.
Yeah, come on now.
Can you prove it?
Yeah, Frank's like, anyone find anybody who's been in a coma for the last 10 years? I need them.
Anyway.
Okay. Yeah, all right. Twitter was funny for a while. Because I think even people who were for Trump or for Biden, like strongly, one way or the other, were starting to get disappointed in the whole thing.
Well, yeah, it was. It's a sad night for America. I mean, it really was.
That's a good way of putting it.
It was just sad. It was going, okay, like, we've devolved to this level from just a strictly political situation in general. I mean,
statesmanship at all. None. Zero.
I do feel like we're going to have a reversal course. I don't think it stays down this road.
We typically do. If there's ever been room for a third party, it's today. And I don't know how that happens, how you go about getting to that place.
Is there an argument that it's not even necessarily a political thing and it's just Trump? Is that fair-ish?
I've had this conversation with people. It's certainly in part because of Trump, but it's not all Trump.
Well, no, I'm not saying he's the only whatever. I'm talking about from a debate, something like last night, where there's that level of hostility in a debate. Now, look, both sides have their crazies and their lack of statesmanship overall.
Yeah.
No, it's not all Trump. That was not my point.
Yeah.
I'm talking about from a speech, debate, public election standpoint. Usually, look, they're all dirty. I mean, that's the point of Wicked Game. We talk about it all the time. But
sure, of course.
It usually stays kind of in the periphery. It stays on the underbelly, and then we have these debates and different things. Those
Trump's
shake hands
an
and
outsider.
whatever. Yeah.
Most of the time, these guys know each other. Like John F. Kennedy and Richard Nixon they wrote legislation together at one point in the Senate. They knew each other. Most of these people that are Washington Beltway people, they've known each other, Chase, for years. They've gone to the same parties. They've been to the same weddings and stuff. Trump was a bit of an outsider. But here's what was weird yesterday. There was a major story that kind of broke during the course of the day about what happened in 2016. I was surprised that didn't come up in the debate last night. There was a lot that's just, it's a number of things. It's Trump. It's the way that he treats that office differently than anyone who's ever held it before.
Sure.
There's a mistrust of the media by Trump. And the media, frankly, plays along. And then there's just hatred. Those two men hated each other up there yesterday. That was hate, which I thought is sort of reflective, and I said this. It's
Braves have leadoff runner on at the bottom of the ninth.
It's reflective of our society a little bit.
One out now. I was reading from ESPN.
That's kind of where we are as a society.
The Braves got Bauer out of the game with 2 outs.
Yeah, Iglesias is in right now. He's nasty.
Still gonna be a tall order here for Atlanta.
Excuse me.
Who needs this game more?
Both teams. I mean, if you're Atlanta, you've got a chance to win a Trevor Bauer game. You want it.
That's a big deal.
Because you still got to face Castillo, and you still got to face Sonny Gray if it gets to a game 3, but you have a chance to win a Bauer game. Put the pressure on the Reds. The Reds haven't been to the playoffs in a long time.
Yankees beat up Bieber yesterday, by the way.
Really
we talked about the Indians and just
got to him.
Struggled. Yankees 12-3 yesterday in that one.
Minnesota lost their 17th straight playoff game.
No kidding.
17 straight playoff games. Yeah. Ooh.
What are you doing?
Well, he was looking for the Charlie.
He didn't get it.
He didn't get Charlie.
Talk about crossed up right there, just staring at the 90, whatever it was, across the top of the zone.
Philip Shue brings up, he says, Trump brought back football. I did think it was funny that Trump tried to play that card last night. It was just cracked me up. There was Robert says in the thread, if anyone participated in the drinking game, they're dead now. Yeah, if you were playing the if you
I did see a bingo. Was it NPR that did it? Who did it?
Yeah, it was.
I think it was NPR.
And people had bingo within 6 seconds. Yeah, it was like boom, bingo. Crazy, just a crazy deal. Will there be an expectation next time that on both of them that they behave better, or is it just are we off the rails?
Well,
now?
yes, there's the expectation, but what does that mean?
Well, I mean, where you're held accountable to a degree.
How?
Where you lose votes.
What's my point? Not if both do it.
Yeah.
No, there was an opportunity to be the adult in the room. It didn't happen.
I'll tell you this. If I were a Republican senator in a close race, I'd be real tempted today. If I thought I might lose, I'd be real tempted today to jump off the Trump wagon. To say that's reprehensible. Done. Pull a lot of moderates, and there's a lot of moderates in state races.
That's a good point. Yeah.
A lot of moderates.
A lot more
in
impact for the middle ground in the state race.
There's a lot of people that are like me in state races, kind of fiscally conservative. I don't care about a lot of the social stuff. I mean, I'm not one of those people that's worked up about a lot of that stuff. There's a lot of people that are that way.
But we're going to go to the 10th in Atlanta.
Excuse me.
2-2 count, bottom 9, 2 outs. So 1 strike away from getting into the extra innings. We told you we were going to be distracted today, so it is what it is.
It's okay. It's baseball. It's playoff baseball on a Wednesday. NBA finals start tonight. I mean, the one positive thing that comes out of all the COVID thing from a sports standpoint is there are a ton of sports. I mean, the Masters is coming up. They're going to the 10th in Atlanta. And you know what will happen? The Reds will start with the man on second base.
Yeah, we get that.
This will be the first Major League Baseball playoff game with the new rules.
They going to bunt him over?
I don't think so.
Okay. I mean, I don't know where they were in the lineup, who's up, anything like that. But
yeah, I don't either.
Okay.
Marlins out in the third. Go to the bottom of the third at Wrigley, too. So,
podcast brought to you in part by Community Mortgage, Oxford, Memphis, Soto County, and Chattanooga. Underwriting and processing is done in Memphis. Searching local underwriting understands your market. A leader in condo financing, the float-down option, and more. You can find Jason at 662-234-2704 or JLOWE at communitymtg.com.
We're also brought to you by Pinnacle Trust. We'll tape a Mind on My Money tomorrow is the plan. We got delayed a little bit on Tuesday. But we'll get one to you later this week. Pinnacle Trust, based in Madison, Mississippi. They've got clients in multiple states. They have agents in multiple states as well. What they do is they provide detailed, specialized investment management, financial planning, retirement planning for individuals and businesses, and much more. At Pinnacle Trust, investing is treated like a commodity. Decisions are made using objective information and research, not emotions. So regardless of your level of wealth, Pinnacle Trust will sit down with you and build a plan that is designed just for you. Get in touch with Pinnacle Trust at pintrust.com, PINNtrust.com. Tell them that you heard about Pinnacle Trust on the podcast. You'll get 10% off your first year's fees. We're also brought to you by John Edwards, Regency Travel Incorporated in Memphis. A lot of deals out there if you're wanting to travel, if you're looking to travel, if you're planning something for the holidays, going ahead planning something for next summer, whatever the case may be, owe it to yourself to get in touch with John. Give him some parameters, give him a budget. He'll give you options that you're not going to find on your own. 901-494-3387 or send him an email, jedwards@regencytravel.net. First-time clients can save $50 off their first booked trip just by telling John you heard about Regency Travel on the podcast. Also brought to you by Grenada Nissan. If you're in the market for a Nissan vehicle, Grenada Nissan's the place to go. They've got a complete selection of new and previously owned Nissan vehicles. Great lease deals as well. It's GrenadaNissanUSA.com. And we're brought to you by Oxford University Bank, OUB, locally owned and operated right here in Oxford. When you deposit money at OUB, that money and the vast majority of the bank's profits go right back into the Oxford community. OUB has a commercial checking account now paying 1% interest as long as you keep $10,000 in the account. Comes with fully interactive online banking. They can set up any local business to deposit checks from their office and not have to worry with coming to the bank daily to deposit those checks. To learn more about OUB, check out liveoxfordbankoxford.com or call 662-234-6668. OUB is FDIC insured.
Somebody says in the thread they think they took it away for the playoffs, the second base thing.
Oh, is that right?
I would actually like it. Let's just go ahead and get on with it. I don't have a problem with it.
Oh, I thought they still did it. But you know what? You're right.
Yep.
They took it away.
We've missed a pitch, too. They came back late, too. Nobody's getting the TV timeouts right. What's going on?
Well, that was me. I'd flipped
over.
you
were flipping. Oh,
I'd flipped to the end of the Cubs inning.
Gotcha.
Oh, that's even better. Play forever, boys. This is inning number 10. I'd like to see this game decided in inning number 40.
1-0.
1-0. Or I don't care.
13-12.
Yeah, I was going to say 27-26 in the 40th.
Braves don't exactly have the deepest bullpen in the world, so this is.
Let's wear it down.
Hey.
Wear that red bullpen down too. This kid can hit a ball an absolute mile.
Why is Mike Clevenger off the Padres?
Arm injury.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. Right before he goes I guess he still has a little bit of control with the Padres.
Ooh.
Here's a weird question. We're talking baseball. Why not? I actually had someone tell me today they wished we talked more baseball, so this was maybe that day that we do it. In a normal year, Trevor Bauer would have multiple suitors offering him buku money. He's a free agent.
Yeah.
This is not a normal year. Teams don't know whether they'll have fans in the stands. They don't know when fans will come back, what it will look like, all of those things. Do you think someone bites the bullet and offers him one of those massive contracts, or does he have to do that one-year deal, bet on yourself, stay healthy, and then wait till the business gets stabilized? Plus there's a work stoppage in all likelihood coming.
I always bet on one team doing the big deal. I could be wrong, but that's always because it only takes one that type of talent. Yeah, I bet on somebody doing that. I really do. That's my guess. Now, those top one or two guys might get that down the middle of the road. We've seen that in the last couple of years. Even you're just not going to get those type of deals. This is not going to happen. Now you mentioned it. You said a minute ago that if nothing else, we're getting tons of sports. We're getting all the baseball stuff. NHL just ended. Tampa Bay Lightning win the Stanley Cup.
Yeah.
Basketball, NBA Finals, Game 1 today, I believe.
It's tonight at 8.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
8 o'clock?
I think that's right. Heat and Lakers.
9 o'clock Eastern.
Yep.
Okay. It surprises me a little. I expected an hour earlier in the bubble.
You don't keep time in the bubble.
It's like a casino. There are no clocks.
No
it just
clocks.
Is what
you
it
just
is.
play.
Except for that casino in St. Louis I was in. Actually had a last call. And it's like,
is that right?
Hold on. Whoa,
in
whoa,
a casino?
Yeah. We were like, I forget what time it was, and it was for somebody's bachelor party. I remember, and it was not like crazy late either. And like they come by and they literally would like taking beer bottles out of people's hands at the table.
Really?
Yeah, it was like not only did you have to have it ordered and sit there, but it had to be gone. We had like multiple people from New Orleans with us looking at them like they had 8 heads, going, "Hold on, what?"
Remember we were walking through Vegas. We'd walk through the casino, and there would be 9 o'clock in the morning, and there's people that had clearly been there just all night, and you're like, I don't get it. I mean, I'm good for you, but I don't get it.
Yeah, I don't want to gamble that badly.
It's never been my thing.
I mean, I like to gamble now.
Yeah.
I have a little fun with it, but that's
not to that extent.
I mean, okay, yeah. But anyway, my point being, we have a pretty cool deal here. We got a lot of golf stuff. We got football, baseball, whatever. It's really credit to everybody, but especially early, the sports that were the first to jump on out there.
Yeah.
You mentioned, basketball tried to get back. They figured out the bubble. I mean, the NHL nobody talks about it because it's hockey, did a flawless job in Canada with their bubble. Flawless.
Absolutely, yeah.
You didn't get a lot of the riffraff stuff. You got nothing. It was great. And, and again, I'm a little biased because I watched so much of it. Golf went around the country and pulled it off every single week and set the tone for when there are positives, don't freak the hell out.
Right.
Chill. It's okay. I mean, they're early. They held them out for like 10 days. Then they started just putting them together. They'd have COVID pairings.
Yeah.
Where 8:10, the two guys would go off, and you might skip a thing at 8:20, and the next people go off at 8:30. The flexibility that was shown early on with some of those sports programs led us to the ability to have football and baseball in the situation that they brought on now and all this stuff. I mean, this whole deal got really dictated there in June when those sports started kind of moving back together pretty quickly.
Well, that's where I think baseball deserves a ton of credit. Because early on, it kind of got squirrely with the Marlins, with the Cardinals. And they rode it out. Made it. They made it. And here they are. I mean, they got people waiting in the bubble. Some of the family member stuff is really funny. But it looks like, barring something crazy, they're going to get there. They deserve a ton of credit because it would have been easy in late July when the Marlins had the massive breakout, and then the Cardinals followed suit to just go, this isn't going to work.
Oh, sure. And how many? And I don't know the answer here. How many games the Cardinals end up playing versus everybody else?
They played like 58.
Oh, they got close.
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't realize that.
They had a deal where, had it mattered, they were going to play 2 games on Monday in Detroit, but it didn't matter.
So Detroit would have had to just play 2 games.
Yeah, they were going to do it if the Cardinals' home field or division were on the line. But the Cubs had clinched the division, and the Cardinals were not going to get home field, so it didn't matter whether the Cardinals were seeded 6, 7, or 8. They said, let's play.
Okay.
think the Cardinals ended up being the 5 seed anyway.
They were the 5.
Yeah.
Pretty sure that's right. They were the 5, and the Brewers got in as the 8?
Brewers are the 8. They're playing the Dodgers.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Okay.
Cubs and Marlins go into the 4th, no score. Sandy Alcantara and Kyle Hendricks in that game. Twins and Astros are 1-1 in the 5th in Minneapolis. Eight games today. Kind of cool.
Will you follow all of them to some extent?
To some degree. Kind of depends. If the Cubs win, I'll watch more tonight than I will if the Cubs lose. Being real.
Well, yeah, 100%.
You know what I mean? Like if the Saints lose the noon game, you don't watch as much as the other games.
Oh, dude, I'm out.
But if the Saints win the noon game, you're watching more football. Just how it works.
I'm trying to think what I've done that the most with. Yeah, Saints for sure. Because there can be, there's not a better feeling in the history of the world than, and you'll get, you understand what this means. This is just game 1, but your team clinching the playoff series or winning the playoff game and then getting the rest of the weekend of the playoff games.
Oh, yeah.
Now, there is nothing. Like the Saints play that 3:25 Saturday game from the divisional series to get to the NFC title game or something, and they win that first one where you go, hey, we're in, and now I get to watch all 3, blah, blah, blah. Oh, you're rolling at that point.
Sure, of course.
The only the second thing to that is your team doesn't even play, and you get to watch the wild card weekend knowing you'll just deal with it next week. That's the other thing that's pretty nice. So, yeah, that is true. The mood of your team will dictate your viewing the rest of the day and the next day. And
well, it's like one of the things people say, what would you like to see for your shows, our shows? I'd like to see what happened when Ole Miss won a big game. We have not done a show where Ole Miss won a big game, unless you count New Mexico State. And if you do, hey, all power to you.
It was a win. A W is a W.
Yeah, sure. Nothing like a celebrated locker room. But we've not done one where Ole Miss won a game. Like if Ole Miss were to beat Kentucky on Saturday, and that game ends at, 6:30, I think our night show might be different. Might have a little more pep to it.
You think?
But I think it might be really noticeable.
Because we haven't seen that.
Because, we still have good shows.
We had Lane Kiffin's introduction night. That's it.
That was it.
That's the only one we've had.
Yeah. But I want to see a winning football game. We hadn't done that. Kentucky would count. Ole Miss is a touchdown underdog. This kid right here, Sims for the Reds, he has an electric arm. He's a bad boy.
It's a whips under 1, too. It's not like he's going to walk forward the next 5 and just end this thing.
It's his first playoff experience, so I'm sure his heartbeat is about
There's no one in the stands.
247 right now, but
everybody just throws 96 now.
Yeah, I know.
The middle relievers throw 96 now.
I know.
The damnedest thing.
Yeah.
There's no longer that, you're the thumber we bring in the 7th. No.
Well, it's like Kimbrell came in for the Cubs the other day and was throwing 98, was sitting at 98. And back there I thought, there was a time when you'd be like, wow. And now it's like, he's just another dude.
Oh. He is a little wild.
Hey, a little jumpy.
The first 3 have not been close here.
Little jumpy.
Going to have to watch 1. Might watch 2 here.
He's a human being. That heartbeat gets going so fast you can't control it a little bit.
And on Duvall up for the Braves. 0 for 3 on the day.
Yeah, you're taking here.
Well, yeah. Tying the bat to your shoulder at this point. No. 94 across the bottom.
You taking here? 3-1? Are you saying you're getting a fastball, go get it?
It's in a box. I think you let him swing as long as you trust him.
I'm swinging.
Well, you're not just swinging wildly.
No, but if I get what I'm looking for, boy, that was a good pitch.
It's a strike.
It was really close, but that's a pitcher's pitch at 3-1.
I don't mind him taking that one.
No, you weren't going to do anything with it.
You could have beat it to the second baseman. That was about it. Well, LSU count as a big win. Yes, LSU will most certainly count as a big win.
Yeah, absolutely.
Frankly, anybody other than Arkansas and Vanderbilt count as big wins.
I agree, right now. For sure.
I do. I think that's where it's at as we're watching baseball at the same time.
Ooh.
That was nowhere close. It would have been behind a left-hander. Yeah, no, Vanderbilt is a game you're supposed to win. Arkansas is a game you're supposed to win. Anything else on the schedule is a big win for Ole Miss.
Yeah, even South Carolina at home is a big win.
Yeah, it's fine.
No question.
It's frankly, because it's a home game, it's the same as Kentucky. Let somebody celebrate a little. Get some energy somewhere.
Sure.
Yeah, that's where that is. I mean, I get that's different for different schools, but no, that's where Ole Miss is at the moment. You're rebuilding. An SEC win, not name the 2 bottom feeders that never win SEC games.
Reds have the bullpen up. Amir Garrett, and I didn't see who the other one was.
Dansby Swanson up for the Braves. Very Vanderbilt name.
Just curious to see what happened on the double here. Marlins got a double to lead off the 4th.
More impressive, MLB umpire or tennis line judge?
Both.
Okay.
I mean, both. You run out of room.
Yeah. Architect saving out there for the Braves. All right, while we're watching this, I'll tell you that the podcast is brought to you in part by Tyson Drugs and G&M Pharmacy. Either location, you get the Immune Support Med Pack, combination of vitamins and supplements designed to boost your immune system and lung health. 30-day supply of vitamin C, zinc, NAC, probiotic, and vitamin D3 to help many things, including lung health, GI regulation, immune regulation, and more. It's the best combination of OTC supplements to prepare your body for sickness or virus. 662-236-2222.
We're also brought to you by Bluff City Advisory Group, dedicated to building the future you desire. Founded in Memphis in 2019, their team is comprised of established and seasoned financial experts who came together to serve individuals and families of their beloved hometown. They value providing quality advice, experience, and access to all their clients, and they invite an open dialogue beyond your annual review. Give them a call, 901-365-3447, or email Ben, B-E-N, at bluffcityadvisory.com. Also brought to you by Whitney McNutt, Tommy Morgan Incorporated Realtors. My mailbag is up on the site today, and you can get to it at rebelgrove.com. It's brought to you by Whitney McNutt. She sells condos, land, commercial, and residential family homes. 662-567-2573 or 662-842-3844. Podcast also brought to you by the law firm of Bain, Moss, and Bowen, located in historic downtown Corinth, Mississippi. Their firm practices a wider range of law from DUI defense to car wrecks to representing government entities. Bain, Moss, and Bowen is the only firm in Mississippi made up of a sitting state legislator, a former assistant district attorney, and a former circuit court judge. Their experience is unmatched in that regard, and you can tap into it by visiting them at 618 East Waldron Street in Corinth, or by calling them at 662-287-1620.
Ooh. He almost threw the ball away down into the right field corner. That would not have been good for the Cincinnati Reds. Let's see.
No, that would not have been good. Markakis was one of those. He opted back in, right, early in the year?
Yep.
He opted out and then opted back in?
That is correct. This cat's a little wild. He's throwing it all over the place.
He's having a human moment, man. Kid has a bright future, though. He can really throw. He's got great stuff. Reds are interesting. But they don't know whether this is their window. You know, they've got a lot of good young players, but Joey Votto's getting older. Can you keep Trevor Bauer there? Does Nick Castellanos opt out of his deal? Can you afford to keep Eugenio Suarez long term? There's a lot of question marks if you're Cincinnati. This is an opportunity. They're a really good team. On the podcast, you guys are going to hear these moments of silence. We're just watching what's really good baseball. Bottom of the 10th inning, Reds and
2-0 count here with the runner on.
Wasn't much you could do with that, though, because he put it right there on that outside corner. Kyle Hendricks escapes it in the 4th in Chicago. Bottom of the 4th, Cubs and Marlins. Still no score. Grind makes up he comes with a really good point. I think if we didn't have sports right now and all there was to talk about was that debate last night, that would be truly depressing.
I don't know how we would do a show. We have to discuss something else. We'd have to seriously get on an actor or something and do.
Well,
something
it's where you made fun of me when I said this, but I've basically held to it. I've kind of cheered for everybody in everything this year. I mean, I've joked about hating the Cardinals and blah blah blah, but I really was panicked about the Cardinals having to quote cancel their season. Don't get me wrong, I don't want them to win a playoff series, but I'm glad they got there. I'm glad that they were able to finish their season, and I'm glad have never been happier for there to be sports.
Oh, good. For 1,000 reasons.
Yeah, it's why when people do this, well, I'm not watching the NBA because of. I'm like, oh, come on, you can't just enjoy the game.
Watch anything right now.
Yeah, I'm watching the NBA. I want to see if the Heat can do it. I mean, and I'm glad that they're playing.
I'm not watching more sports, but I'm invested in more sports. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
I'm checking the headlines more every morning to go, hey, everybody good? Everybody cool?
Yeah.
All good in your league?
Yeah.
Cool. All right, move on.
Well, it was tough to lay off that pitch. The pitch recognition by major league hitters does not get the credit that it deserves. You and I would be up there flailing.
Well, yeah. The tunneling is better than it's ever been in before in history from a baseball standpoint.
That was a nasty 2-2 change that just dropped, and he recognized it and laid off. Big moment right here for
3-2,
for
runner
Lucas
on
Sims.
first, one out.
Runner goes.
In scoring position, runner at second with 2 outs for the Braves. Again, I know it's a terrible pod, but it's just where we are.
No, it's
on this
okay.
Wednesday afternoon.
It's okay. You know what's interesting is the playoff. You can feel the playoff intensity even with no fans. It's still high caliber baseball.
Well, that is true. Everything is still that extra. Hey, one thing here and we're done.
It's the thing about Major League Baseball when people are like it's boring, and I understand what they mean. But when you see just how good the pitching is day in and day out, I don't know how you can think that it's actually boring.
I'm telling you, if we can time up the streams, this is absolutely the way to do at least, well, both sides, but for sure, SEC road baseball.
Mm-hmm.
Just kind of hanging out, talking about it, chilling.
Someone's been telling you that.
I know. But as it's on in front of me and we're commentating and whatnot.
Yeah, you just talk about it. I'm not sure it's not the way to do a little bit of the home baseball.
That's what I'm saying.
Ooh, he was way out in front of that change. Goodness gracious.
Quickly 0-2 here for Sims against Austin Riley, who really would have helped Mississippi State baseball had he shown up for the Bulldogs over the course of those last few years.
You think? So you think a guy that got to the majors in about 10 days would help? Ooh.
You got a piece? No, he didn't get a piece. Okay.
84,
to the 11th.
84 mile an hour curve.
Yeah. Anyway. All right. Yeah, I think that is something we probably need to look at too.
Oh, I think so. I'd be curious to see whether people
care, would watch.
Well, I mean, I'm going to do some of it in basketball for sure. Absolutely. I'm going to do a lot of it in basketball. I think I'm going to do some of the watch parties and follow it up with taking some calls and
kind of last thing here, and we'll might just tease this for tomorrow night because I need a little more info. Reading here from Eli Drinkwitz, Missouri head coach.
Okay.
He says there's no uniform SEC policy for reporting COVID-19 test results and no sharing of information among the programs. Says he has, quote, no idea what's going on with teams from week to week, and, quote, it's kind of a free-for-all. The SEC did not request comment. Gus Malzahn says he would be in favor of such policy and talking about transparency inside the league because some schools, such as Alabama, have chosen not to disclose the number of tests each week, citing privacy laws, which the privacy laws do not count for that, but whatever.
It's a weird spot.
I think the league should make everybody post their positives,
including the names of the players.
No, I don't need names. That does fall inside privacy. But the way the privacy laws work is individuals are protected, and you're protected if it is enough information to surmise an issue. Does that make sense?
Uh-huh.
So I think it would even be a little catchy to go, hey, we're having to cancel because we don't have enough quarterbacks. That might even be a problem. But to simply go on a 115, 120-man roster, hey, we got 6 cases, that does not put any individual whatsoever. I think there should be a blanket number of positives reported by every school.
But what some of these coaches want to know is who's out.
I get that.
They're wanting to strategize. And that's where
of course.
and that's where the league's like, this is a HIPAA thing.
Yeah, that's 100% a HIPAA thing. It's just like in some of the smaller sports, it wouldn't be like, golf. Hey, well, we've got 2 of our starters. Well, I mean, you're telling me now it's 1 of 2 of 3 or 2 of 4, like whatever. Hey, 2 of our seniors can't. Well, yeah, you got a problem. So,
Jason
played very well.
He
threw it away.
Throw that away.
What was going on?
Stop.
Okay. A little bit of circus music there for the Miami Marlins for a second.
Got to make them pay for that if you can. Hey, we're also brought to you by Heritage Properties. They're home to 3 communities in Oxford, Faulkner Flats, Cambridge Station, Lexington Point. All 3 properties, multi-family housing. They're offering on-site management and maintenance at all of them. They're pet-friendly, and they offer short-term leases. Cambridge Station has renovated 2-bed, 2-bath apartment homes 5 minutes from campus with multiple amenities, including free cable and internet. They're currently offering a single occupancy special. You can contact live@cambridgestationapts.com for more information.
So we will not. Well, we probably will be distracted by some form of sports tomorrow night. For our,
good news is the Cubs play
show.
at 1 tomorrow,
so it'll be out of the way. Neal will be into a bottle or not by 7 o'clock.
Oh, for sure. Oh, that's rain at Wrigley.
It is rain. Yeah,
that's not good.
Yeah. So we will be back then. We'll talk more about Ole Miss and Kentucky, give you some idea of what all to expect and when for our show on Saturday from a little more timeline standpoint, and whatever else happens between now and then over the next 28 hours or so. So appreciate you hanging in today, and we'll talk to you again tomorrow.